The end of June kicks off the most heavily anticipated travel season of the year. America's top travel guru, journalist, and best-selling author Christopher Elliott shares his top 5 tips on avoiding the most common travel mistakes to ensure the best summer vacation yet. Good morning, Christopher. Welcome to the Morning Blend.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, so you have 5 tips that every traveler needs to know this summer. Let's start with number 1.
Well, I have more than 5 tips for you, actually, but what you said before is so true. There are more people traveling this summer than ever. This is one for the record books. You know, there's a survey out just this morning that said $100 billion is going to be spent on summer vacations. That's up 20% from last summer. And more than 50% of people are going to be taking a summer travel vacation. So that's a lot of trips. And unfortunately, for all of us, a lot of mistakes being made too.
And what are some of those mistakes that you're seeing people are making?
Okay, let's get down to it. One of them is just taking advice from the wrong places. The survey said 4 out of 5 people are going to these online user-generated review sites. Now, those are not bad necessarily, but if you go to just one site and make a booking decision based on just one review that you've read, you're just asking for trouble. What I say in my book, How to Be the World's Smartest Traveler, is you want to cast a very wide net, go to 3 or 4 of these review sites, and then cross-reference that with advice that you get from maybe a travel agent or from a close friend who's been to that place. And if it all lines up, then chances are you're going to the right place. But don't just go to one place and make a booking decision based on that, because you're just asking for trouble if you do.
I have been one of those victims myself, where it's like you read one review and you're like, done, sold, let's move on.
Yeah, that's the wrong move. Unfortunately, I think I've done the same thing too, but I learned my lesson.
Right, exactly. You learn as you go. All right, what's another tip that you have for us?
Well, the other thing is to be as proactive as you can. One of the things that I say in my book is keep a packing list. I know that's not very glamorous travel advice to be giving, but you would not believe the number of people who call me from the airport and say, Chris, I left my passport at home. Can you help me fix my trip? And by then it's too late. Their plane has left and they're not going anywhere. Their vacation is ruined. So keep a packing list and put things like your passport and your visa in there, just to make sure you're not overlooking something. Don't wait until the last minute to pack as well. And one other thing too is you might consider travel insurance, especially if you're spending more than $5,000 on a trip. That's what we consider a big ticket purchase. And travel insurance can protect you if something goes wrong. If, say, there's a trip interruption, or if a close relative dies, you could be covered in that eventuality. And, you know, back to this book, I can't believe that my publisher allowed me to do this, but if things get really, really bad, what you can do is, in the appendix of my book, I have the names, email addresses, and phone numbers of the managers in charge of customer service, and you can email them directly, and you can get your trip fixed right then and there.
And can we drop your name? Christopher Elliott told me to do this.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
You can.
What are some of the other tips that are in your book? Obviously, I don't want you to give away all of your tips that are in your book, but what are some of the most important tip that people need to know in order to be a safe traveler?
Well, it's like I said, if you plan ahead and if you get good advice, you can have a very smart trip. And then, of course, also, you've got to buy my book called How to Be the World's Smartest Traveler.
Christopher, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And don't go anywhere. The Morning Blend will be right back.